Thanks for sharing your story with myself and with the Clydesider. You're a couple that fall under the category of shielding, Helen and Owen McGuigan. So can you just tell me a wee bit about how you are coping?
You go, Helen. Ladies first.
We're coping really well, actually. It's a whole different way of looking at your life and a different way of dealing with stresses, because you can't get out to talk to people. Can't go and do the things you were doing, and sometimes you feel it is isolation, but sometimes you feel the isolation within that isolation. That's a long drawn way of saying I'm fed up in here mode.
I've coped with it quite well because I like my own company. Helen's been very good to me. She's been looking after me because I've not been too well, because I've got the cancer. And my cancer treatment stopped because of COVID, I went up for a hospital appointment and they said, "What are you doing here?" And I'm saying, "Well, you never told me not to come." I says, "I'm up for my checkup for my next chemo the next day." She just shook her head and says, "No, you're not getting it." I wouldn't have got it anyway because the previous week I had a temperature of 42 and I got rushed to hospital in an ambulance. They thought it might have been COVID. So it was all nurses not coming into the room unless they were all gowned up. They would come to the door and just talk to you. They would slide your dinner in on a table, fire it at the bed. I was really poorly because I had a 42-degree temperature. And I'd done the COVID-19 test on me, but fortunately I was negative, so I knew I didn't have it. But I've coped very well with it. And we get a lot of home-cooked dinners. We've not had a ding dinner for 3 months.
I'm fed up cooking.
She's fed up with it. Helen's got a wee bit stir-crazy now near the end, Well, I think it's near the end, but she went out to clubs a lot. She enjoyed her wee clubs.
And now I don't get there. But anyway, we're very lucky we've got the garden because a lot of folk don't have that. And we do have it. And we had the good weather to let us enjoy the garden.
Unusual for Scotland.
So I've been weeding and power hosing and all sorts going on in the garden.
She thought she'd try the power washing because she thought it looked easy. But she tried. That's not easy, is it? I had to finish it all.
So you're shielding as well, Helen?
Yes, I'm shielding because I have chronic asthma. I've been in the hospital a few times with that in an ambulance, unfortunately. So I've had my fair share of help from the NHS.
Brilliant NHS.
They've always been very good. Always sent me home well again.
How are you getting your necessities during lockdown? Because you're shielding and obviously you can't go out. So how are you getting your messages and stuff like that, things that you need?
We have our shielding grocery boxes delivered. You don't need to request them. No. It's your doctor that requests it.
They said it might take 7 days, but a couple of days later these boxes turned up on the doorstep and they've been doing that for the last 13 weeks. And it's incredible.
It's
what kind of things are you getting in the boxes? Is it enough to make meals and stuff?
Every week you've got potatoes, carrots, bread, milk, beans.
We get a lot of meatballs.
A lot of meatballs.
They give you a ton of meat. It's a ton of meat every week. And first week it was hot dogs, sausages, and I tried the meatballs, and they're not so good.
I didn't like them.
But the rest of it is fantastic, I discovered that UHT milk's actually very tasty, and I make my porridge with it.
Other supports have you got out there? You spoke about your box, you're getting your box delivered. What other services have you had to use or have you came across that you know is available to help you if you need it?
Well, we've had services offered to us through the shielding letter, and it gives you phone numbers you can contact. The other thing we did apply for was online shopping, a priority slot for online shopping. Because the first order I put in for online shopping, it was to wait 3 weeks for the delivery. By the time it came, we were ready for it. But through the shielding, you get a number you can phone and you get a priority slot at the shop.
The shops actually contact us by email to ask us, what to put in an order.
That means you can get your beef and your fish and stuff like that the boxes don't deliver.
We got offered the slots before they're released to the public. It was a nightmare before.
Yeah, because people were panic buying, and then if
you
can't even panic buy.
My niece, she comes every Tuesday with her homemade soup. She makes homemade soup, And she asked us on a Monday, do we need anything, you know? And she's got to do this by walking. She's not got a car, so we don't ask her to bring too much. She brings us some goodies that we don't ask for, so that's nice treats. So she's done a wonderful job.
But your boxes give you toilet rolls and toiletries, and they give you apples and oranges. They do give you quite a lot.
Do.
You shouldn't, if you get that box delivered each week, you shouldn't be in need for food.
And what hobbies have you been doing at home? What have you picked up or learned? What new things have you got yourselves involved in?
I started making things out of my Guinness because I like my Guinness. You see, sometimes people turn up and leave it on my doorstep. I started keeping the cans. I made 10-can bowling. I made a bowling alley, and there's a big sign behind it with lights and things. And we done it indoors one night. It was hilarious. Me and Helen, Jennifer, my daughter, and Hope, my granddaughter, they had great fun with it. Lockdown hoopla, I called it.
Lockdown hoopla.
I put spikes on the cans and wee numbers on the top, so the big rings, and they throw them over it. But you get a star, you get a prize. I thought that was a clever idea, but Hope was very good at it. She's 4th time she got this star. So we all have 4 prizes, and my daughter's about 6. So I think I did a star one, you know.
I get it.
I've lost it.
It's all our homemade games are made with Guinness cans.
I've been going to virtual pub every week because I go out with my nephew. I have been doing so for 40 years. For the last 30 weeks, every Wednesday night we meet up. It's not virtual drink we're drinking, it's real drink. It's just a virtual pub. I put all these pub signs up on the wall behind us, and it's been good fun, that.
There's one sitting over there for me. The Drop Stitch, open all hours. That's my pub. When I meet the ones from Natter on Zoom, they call it the Drop Stitch.
What hobbies have you been doing at home? What have you picked up or learned? What new things have you got yourselves involved in? And it's good that you've got people round about you, and people are really coming together as well. I've noticed that people are a lot kinder, and they're going out their way to help. But it can be emotionally, mentally draining, especially for people that maybe don't have that support, that are living on their own. To look as if you're having fun. Locked up together.
I'm enjoying it immensely, you know.
So how emotionally, mentally did you cope maybe at the beginning, and how have you kind of overcome these obstacles?
It wasn't too bad at the beginning, because, for me anyway, because I'm such an active person, I'm out every day doing physical, like dancing and playing bowls, and I'm out all the time. So I was tired. So the first couple of weeks was fine to rest up. But after that, it gets a bit much, and you get, oh, I wish I could get out of here. I really need to get out of here. This is driving me mad. I'm in prison. I can't wait for visiting day. Is there anybody going to come to that back garden and talk to me?
But the good thing is restrictions have lifted a wee bit for the category of people who are shielding like yourselves. How, first of all, did you feel when the restrictions were lifted, meaning you could go out?
Well, Nicola was saying it on the television, I was putting my shoes on.
Owen's shouting at me, Helen, Nicola's on at 12:30. So I had to come in and sit, and he's putting his shoes on, and she said, and those of you who are shielding can now go for a walk. And he's got his shoes on, they stood up, and suddenly she says, now can you just wait until I finish? I said to her, she can see you.
I know.
So we sat back down, waited till she finished what she was saying, listened to every word, and then we were out that door, off.
So that was it, me and Helen off up the canal. It was a beautiful day.
It was good going out, the two of us together, but when it came to going out on my own, I found it scary, because I was frightened to go near anyone. There weren't a lot of people out, which I was glad of, but there was one or two, but I had to watch them all the time. Are they coming this way? Are they going to be crossing over to the other pavement? And it was really unsettling. But I did my walk and I get back home without getting close to anyone. But I thought, this is ridiculous. This is supposed to be a wee bit of respite, exercise, getting out for your wee walk after all this time. And you're terrified.
Like that when you've been in and then you're going out, you do feel anxious and you're cautious, but it does get better in my experience. The more you do it, then you start to get a wee bit more confident. And the thing is, because you're in the category of shielding, people have been doing the things that you have just started to do.
That's right.
Aye, they've been out there.
confident in it, and it's forgetting that people like yourselves, you have not experienced what we've experienced.
And I worry in case, because the other people have already done it, maybe they're getting a wee bit kind of blasé about it and maybe not following the rules the same way we're following the rules. And that's a wee bit scary as well, you know, that maybe people don't understand that they can do things I can't do and don't come too near me. It is worrying.
And what other things have you done since restrictions have been opened? I've seen you posting a letter, Helen, at your box.
Yeah, it was actually a birthday card. I've had loads of birthdays during lockdown, absolutely loads of birthdays. And I've been making birthday cards because I couldn't get out to buy them. So I've been making the cards and asked my neighbour to get me stamps, and my neighbour posts them. But that one I was able to, I think it was my grandson, wasn't it? And I was able to get out and post it.
I just thought it'd make a good image.
And I thought,
post a
imagine.
letter,
And I'm posting a letter and I was frightened to touch the post box. And I'm trying to put it.
As a couple, what are you looking forward to doing the most once this is over?
I want to meet my grandchildren. I haven't really saw my grandchildren much properly. We've done a lot of Skyping, which is quite chaotic when you do the one with the 3 children. They just go mental. I want to go for a pint, sit, have a pint. You know, that's what I like doing. And a coffee. Helen likes getting a wee coffee in the coffee shops and meeting up with my twin sister, because I haven't seen her for nearly 4 months. She's frightened to come here in case she passes anything on to me. She sends us these food parcels, big giant boxes full of goodies.
Full of sweeties and things, I miss my 2 young grandchildren. I haven't seen them since the end of January, the beginning of February. They live in Ayrshire. I've seen my 2 older ones, but the 2 younger ones, I haven't seen them.
We've not been able to hug them. Have to keep the safe distance. We do the visit, the virtual hugs, you know.
Although if people are on their own, you don't want them to feel on their own. So anyone out there that's watching this that's on their own, please take care, and it'll be over soon. It might seem like a long time, but we'll be over it and we'll be out the tunnel at the other end.
And Scotland's doing a great job of getting rid of it. They're doing very well, you know, so we'll all be very careful.
I would just like to thank you for taking the time to speak to me today and sharing.
You're welcome. Aye.
Your life at home.
A bit exciting for us, you know. This is exciting. Okay, to talk to somebody we don't know. Take care now. Watch it. It's a jungle out there.
Your health, both of you. Thanks very much again, Helen and Owen. Thanks very much for your time. Take care.
You too, Angela.